chat. Hello, chat. I have a surprise for you all. I'm looking at I'm looking at chat, and I don't see anyone who has actually identified something about that song. I was not playing. Well, the emblem on the background is the USSR state seal, great seal, whatever you want to call it. But the actual song that I was playing was not the anthem of Russia. It was not the anthem of the Soviet Socialist Republic. It was something else. I took a bit of a trip, but before I get into it, let me advertise something real quick. I'm gonna sum up a happening since the last stream, and also the last video I put out yesterday, which was just a recording of a phone call. And then I will go into my little travel. Oh, someone got it. Alexei Makushin. I think I pronounced that right. He figured it out. Months and months ago in March, I bought a new server. It took months to get made because of the chip shortage. It arrived last month at the data center. It got plugged in. Never got set up because that was when the BIOS shit was happening, so I didn't have time. And only just this week have we moved the Fediverse and the Matrix server to the new device. And I say we, I mean Crunklord did all the heavy lifting. So KiwiFarms.cc is speedy right now. It's operating as it should. There is a matrix.kiwifarms.net, which you can find instructions to use in the Internet and Technology board of the site. I would love to see some new people using both sites. So if you're interested in a Twitter alternative, a Discord alternative, go ahead and check those out. So yesterday, I get an email, a suspicious looking email from someone I recognize the name of, but didn't quite know who it was. And you know, I shouldn't throw this up just because it has an address on it, and I don't want to get the archives in trouble. But it had a phone number, and it was a suspicious looking subpoena asking for non-specific information about celebrities potentially using the site. And I'm thinking, like, this is fucking weird. So I called the number thinking that it would be the clerk of court for this court that this subpoena was supposedly from. And I get in touch, and it's like an old lady that picks up. I'm thinking, who the fuck is this? And she seems confused. She doesn't seem like she's the clerk of court for this courthouse. And I said, is this the clerk of court for this county? I think it's like Tutela County in Georgia or something. And she says, no, hold on a second. I'm thinking, what? Because, you know, if it's just the wrong number, you would expect that this person would simply say, no, you have the wrong number, click goodbye, right? She doesn't. She says, hold on a second. She wanders off, and then this other younger female starts talking to me, and I remember that this is Pamela Swain, who is a definitely delusional, schizophrenic, probably. I don't know. She's apparently undiagnosed, and I'm not a doctor, and she's not my patient. I would assume she's schizophrenic, but it's not quite possible. There's lots of delusional disorders. You can have delusions all by itself. You don't. Someone explained. I was wondering aloud if Chris could potentially develop schizophrenia later in life because he is autistic, and someone replied saying that people can develop delusional disorders by themselves. You don't have to be schizophrenic. You can become delusional for any number of reasons. So I don't know. My point is, I don't know what's wrong with her, but there's something clearly fucking wrong with her. And she starts talking to me about all these people, including Donald Trump Jr. and some guy named Alan Dvajovich or some shit, who's apparently Harvey Weinstein's lawyer. Fucking weird shit. I don't know anything about any of this, except that she posts a lot on the forum. And she sent me a subpoena, and the interesting thing about the subpoena is that it explicitly says that issuing a fake subpoena is a criminal offense in the state of Georgia, which can result in a fine and 20 days in prison. So she sends me this and specifically says, like, this is a subpoena for evidence, and she's not in discovery. This case doesn't appear to exist. Everything else about this is like what room this is in. Oh, it's Alan Dershowitz, apparently. So everything about this is just weird, and it's apparently a crime. And she says it like in the template she copied over to me. She admits it's a crime, so it's, I don't know. I sent it to the clerk of court, the real one, and I asked, "What the fuck is this? Do I have to do anything?" And I'm waiting for a reply from the judge. So, and I think they know who she is. It seems that they're pretty familiar with her because she probably files insane shit all the fucking time. But my call with this person is on the forum, or it's on the channel right now, but it's also uploaded to the podcast feed and the Odysee archive and the website and everything else. And it's pretty interesting. People will say I do a good job when I talk to weirdos, so I'll take that as a point of pride for now. So let me tell you guys about where I went. I had an issue with my visa, as happens all the fucking time. I have. I'll just say this, actually. I've never had a residential visa anywhere. Since I moved from I very briefly I did in the Philippines, but everywhere I've been, I've just been a tourist. So I'm still technically living in the United States, even though I haven't lived in the United States since like 2017 or some shit. So every so often, I am compelled by the governments of this world to fuck off a bit. And this came out of nowhere. I was actually applying for a visa, and then they said, no, you gotta fucking go. So I'm saying, okay, whatever. So I pick on short notice a country that I can fuck off to, and I picked the Pridnestrovian Moldovina Republika, which some of you may recognize the name of Transnistria. They do not like the name Transnistria. Supposedly, from what I was told, Transnistria was the name that the Nazis gave the area when it was occupied. And for whatever reason, that is the name that has stuck in the English-speaking world, probably because the Pridnestrovian Moldovina Republika is very hard for mutts like me to say, and I'm sure I'm saying it very wrong. So I went there, and just because I had a day to kill, I had to stay out and about for 24 hours, and I thought, why not? I actually meant to go to Pridnestrovia when I was in Odessa, which is just south of Pridnestrovia, and from what I learned during my time there, when they were all a part of the USSR, people living in Tiraspol would go south to Odessa for vacation all the time because it's right there. Nowadays, it's a part of Ukraine, and Ukraine and Russia don't get along, and Pridnestrovia is very dependent on Russia for its independence. So these days, it's a very hard situation for them, and I feel really bad. And what I got a sense of was like severe Soviet nostalgia, and as a Westerner, that's like really weird to me. When you think of like the Soviets, you think of like the Stasi, you think of Stalin, you think of like domestic espionage and you know, party loyalty and all these bad things. So it's like, why do these people in Pridnestrovia, why do they feel so nostalgic for the Soviet Union? And it was explained very well to me. Basically, in the Soviet Union, everything had a place. The central government, for all its faults, would pick places and say, Tiraspol is going to be our steel mill, and you're going to develop hydroelectric equipment and stuff because there's a dam there that makes all their energy. You guys are gonna do this, and we're gonna get the steel from this area, and we're gonna ship it over here, and you're gonna make these, and then we're gonna take the steel and we're gonna send it up north to Kaliningrad, and they're going to build ships there, and we're going to send it to Crimea because we need to build ships there too for the Black Sea. They basically had this whole network of supply and demand logistics figured out from the central government. And it wasn't perfect, obviously, because they collapsed. But Tiraspol and Pridnestrovia had a place in this network that was very beneficial to it. Much like a lot of people may not know this, but in Korea, North Korea was the industrialized economic center of Korea, and the South was like the shitty agriculture farmer area where nobody wanted to be. But then after the split, the North decayed and stagnated, and the South prospered under Western capitalism. and in Moldova's situation, Pridnestrovia was the rich area, heavily industrialized, built up by the Soviets, and the rest of Moldova is like a fucking farm that makes wine, and that's all it is. So, and there's a difference in race. The rest of Moldova is mostly ethnically Romanian, or more related to that than um, Pridnestrovia, which is ethnically Russian for the majority. So the Moldovans didn't like the Russians. They wanted the ethnic Russians gone, and Tiraspol was the economic heart of the Moldovan area. So when the split up happened and Moldova started talking all this shit about kicking the Russians out, they're like, wait a second, fuck you. We don't want to be a part of your shitty fucking country, and we're not going to go. We're staying right here. We're going to be independent, and fuck you. And that didn't quite work, in part because they're surrounded by two countries, Moldova and Ukraine, and neither really like Pridnestrovia. Moldova doesn't like Pridnestrovia because they think they own it. Ukraine doesn't like Pridnestrovia because they don't like Russia. And they're sort of like a thorn in everybody's side, but also everybody's a thorn in their side. They don't have an airport, so they can't do air commerce. They don't have a land route anywhere because they have to go through Moldova or Ukraine, so they're sort of stagnant in terms of exports. They make cognac and steel to this day, and beer, but they can't really export it. And Moldova doesn't let them export anything unless it says made in Moldova. So they're really, really in a bad position, and they're just sort of stuck in time, and they look back on the Soviet Union fondly because that was when they had a place in the world, and they really just got left behind. And it makes me feel like there's probably a lot of places like that in the world that have gotten left behind, especially with like China. Detroit, for instance, people may not know this. Detroit after World War II was the city of Detroit had more industrial output at the end of World War II than the rest of Europe combined. Well, the entirety of Europe combined. Obviously, Europe had just suffered a war, and Germany had been, leveled to the ground. But it says a lot to say that Detroit outputted the entirety of Europe at that time, and now it's a shithole. For various reasons, not the least of which is that China took all the manufacturing jobs from the U.S. So now Detroit's just kind of left behind, and I've never been to Detroit, so it's hard for me to compare the two, but I don't think that Pridnestrovia has it as bad as Detroit. So just a very interesting thing, a very, very useful way to spend a day that I otherwise would just be wasting in a hotel room. I learned quite a bit. I enjoyed my time there. Really just fascinating, interesting to think about. And I think that a lot of people in former Soviet areas, well, especially in Ukraine and Crimea, if you don't know, the whole issue with Crimea is that it was a part of Ukraine, and then they supposedly held a democratic vote to become part of Russia, or to become independent. And then after they became independent from Ukraine by vote, the next day they held another referendum to become part of the Russian Federation, and that also passed. And Russia and Crimea's authority both hold that this was a valid democratic vote, and the U.S. and the UN say, no, that's bullshit. We don't believe you that it was democratic. You probably forced them to become part of Russia, and they and that's the contention with that. So, like if Pridnestrovia voted to become part of Russia and was just another exclave like Kaliningrad was, that would probably cause another wave of sanctions against Russia because they can't. People would just say, "Oh, you didn't actually hold that vote, and that's not a real vote. They didn't actually vote to become part of Russia, so fuck you. We're going to sanction you." They don't want to become part of Moldova. They can't become independent because Moldova won't let them without another civil war. So and Moldova can't become part of the UN unless they either let Pridnestrovia go, or Pridnestrovia agrees to become part of Moldova and tear down the borders and stuff. It's really a fucked up situation. You can understand why it's remained the way that it has for like 20 years. It's really fascinating. Anyways, Shithole countries crying about being shitholes. Hey now. You'll that'll be you one day. You'll be sitting there and whatever. You'll be sitting there in like what is it, the Pacific Confederation between Washington and or Greater Idaho, they like to call it. You'll be sitting there in Greater Idaho, like, no, we're a real country, and you'll be sandwiched between the U.S. and Canada, just like Pridnestrovia is between Ukraine and Moldova, and you'll be like, no, we're totally a real country, guys, and everyone will just ignore you and make fun of you, and you'll sit there and you'll sing your fake country anthem, wave your fake country flag, and there's nothing you can do about it. Anyways. Yeah, I had fun. So, what you actually care about. Did you know that Reset Era was sold for $4.5 million? No, if someone offered you $4.5 million for Forum, would you sell it? Please answer this question today on stream. That's a hard question. My position on selling the Forum would be that I need enough money from that one transaction to justify because I can't ever work again. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, $4.5 million, is that enough money to tide me over? Is that enough money to tide me and a family over for the rest of my life? You know what I mean? You'll be set for life, but like with inflation and everything, like let's see. Let's be generous and say I'll live to be 80, and you divide that by minus 28 from that, because that's how old I am, I think. 52. You times that by 40,000. Is that what the average American makes? So that's about $2 million. So that's, okay. That's $2 million if you work till 80. So I guess $4.5 million would cover that. But then it's like that money isn't really going to grow with inflation unless you invest it wisely. 4.5 is like probably the bare minimum that I could accept. Because I can't work ever again. You know what I mean? So it's a difficult position. But and it's like, well, you know, that's a really tough one. Yeah, like that's the low end of what I would want for it. And it might say like, oh, you think the Forum's worth $4.5 million? You're fucking delusional. It's not that I think the Forum is worth $4.5 million. It doesn't matter what it's worth. You know, and it's more just that if I get rid of this asset that I have, I better be able to not have to worry about money again. You know, it's very little to do with what I think it's worth. It's more about what I need it to be worth in order to sell it all. What about $6 million? Ooh, $6 million. That's a lot. I don't think anyone's going to offer $6 million. Someone might offer $1 million, but that's the highest. ETFs have a return of 10% PA. Invest $2 million. That's $200 a year reinvest. I mean, I could just buy property. You know what I mean? I could just buy a bunch of houses and shit. I could invest it in anything. I could invest it in Pridnestrovia. I'd probably make a little bit of money back. But so let me read the post from Cerium. By the way, this guy made 700, according to the press release from the company, which is based in Sweden. Cerium says that he made. When selling it, he told the company that he had made $700,000 in the last 12 months, which just goes to show you, by the way, that if I could run ads on the Kiwi farms, I would make a lot of money. I would probably generously, I would say or conservatively, I would say that if I could run ads on the top of threads, I could probably make about $10,000 a month just from that. Because I know how much money I made with much less traffic, and if I just scale that up linearly, $10,000 is probably where it would be at. So Reset Era NeoGaf, whatever the fuck, is a much larger forum, and he has other means of monetization. But just running AdSense on these threads would be a lot of money. I'm not running porn ads on the site, and I can't run Google AdSense because they ban our domain. So I really can't. I don't have any issue with ads, and I think if people want to block ads, that's fine. But it's just not an option to me. I did a crypto miner once, and it made a lot of money. Crimeware. No, I don't want to put sketchy because most of the traffic that the forum has is from work. It's like we lose traffic over the weekend. That's weird. Most places gain traffic over the weekend because people are off. So I really think that almost everybody who uses the forum actually does so at work. In fact, there's probably people listening to this who are at work right now. Because I've been told by a lot of people they listen to me at work. So it's just like a way that they burn through their fucking wagey hours, is reading about fat people and shit. Oh, I just got an email from the court. Let me read this real quick because this is about Pamela. It might be interesting. The judge has said that I can throw the subpoena in the trash. Well, that's good. I'm glad that that's been settled. Fascinating stuff. Thank you, Judge. Keep my voice down. Okay, Sirium says, hello, everyone. We've come to our 4th anniversary. God, it's been 4 months since the fucking NeoGAF canceling. Someone in chat remind me what the NeoGAF got canceled for. Did they say the N-word or something? This is my job. You're my minder. We're coming up on our fourth anniversary this month, and I almost can't believe it's been that long. It feels that we got started yesterday. It feels like we've been doing this forever. 2 years ago, I stepped down as general manager, and I have tried to leave the day-to-day management of the site to the staff as much as possible, but I've been doing what I can to help to ensure the technical and logistical needs of the site were being met. The pressure of being the sole owner of Reset Era has always remained, however, and personal health concerns have made it increasingly difficult to shoulder that on my own. I've wrestled with this decision for a long time now, but I'll be honest with myself, I don't know if I'll be able to do this forever. The right thing to do is to find a responsible buyer for the site. Reset Era has a new owner, which is the MOBA network, which is based in Sweden. They have a good track record according to him. The staff will retain total independence when it comes to moderation and day-to-day management of the site. That independence will be held as absolutely sacred in the same way that editorial independence is treated as journalistic publications. It's very interesting reading like the flip side of the Kiwi farms. Here we have a guy who is like extremely left-leaning, very politically correct, and he has to be minded of things that are completely alien to me, and I can see it in the way that he writes. So the first off, he has to clear up why he's doing this. Money is bad because his users are like, he can't jeopardize the deal by pissing off his community, right? So he can't just say, fuck y'all, got mine. He has to gently break the news so that there's no issues with the deal going forward. It has to retain, because really what he's selling there is the people who use the site and their attention. So that's the value, and he has to retain as many users as possible. So the first thing he tackles here is the pressure is high and I have personal health concerns. Well, that's a great, that is something that he probably paid someone to come up with, because that is a perfect excuse. Because number one, his communities, the rules of their religion do not allow them to ask what specifically. Like with Jim says on Patreon, I have health issues. Like everyone's like, what do you fucking got? You got fucking cancer? You got fucking AIDS? Like, this sounds like bullshit. This sounds like a cop-out, and people get into his business. But for their community, he says health concerns, well, it's none of their fucking business, and anyone who would dare ask what the health concern is violating the tenets of the faith. So that's a great excuse, and it excuses him from selling it. So he says after months of deliberation and negotiation, it has a new owner. Picking a company based in Sweden is a good idea because they're in the EU, and the EU is worshipped by the cult. And then he says that nothing changes. So actually, when he pitches this to to MOBA Network, he's saying that the staff are basically a part of the deal. He says that I've set this up so that it manages itself. It's passive income. I place the ads, I have user upgrades, but then I have these Jannies who do all the work for me, and they're not paid. The only thing that they want is power and responsibility because they collect benefits and they need that in their life somehow. So they manage it for me completely fine. It's entirely bureaucratic. They don't get paid, and you will inherit them, and it's a win-win. MOBA Network doesn't have to worry about hiring staff for this property, and the community has the sense of familiarity right off the bat. Yeah, the owners changed, but what did Cerium even do? Nothing, apparently. It's all the Jannies, and the Jannies are coming with. So he doesn't have to worry about that. That sweetens the deal for everybody. And nobody, and as far as the business side is concerned, they don't have to pay for anything. And then he also very intelligently says the independence will be held as absolutely sacred in the same way that editorial independence is treated at journalistic publications. That's like an appeal to authority. Like, they will be in control the same as they always have. And then he says, it's like with newspapers, those things that you trust so much. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I understand what that means. It is my honest belief that this arrangement is the best way to secure the future of the site and a future for white children. To give it the kind of safety net that I can't on my own without sacrificing anything that makes the site what it is. My time as the owner of Reset Era has been one of the greatest honors of my life. I would never give it up without knowing that it will be in good hands. I know that there will probably be a lot of questions about this, so I'm just going to try and answer as many of the big ones as possible. What will change here? Not much. Covered that. What benefits will this have for the site? And then he just says that it'll be better. It'll have more server. Great. Why did MOBA Network want to buy Reset Era? We fit their user-driven approach. They're not a journalistic network. They're not a game publisher. There aren't a whole lot of popular gaming sites out there which suit them. They like Reset Era and they believe in it. At the end of the day, it's an investment. So basically, he's just saying that why did MOBA Network want to buy Reset Era? It's because of the users, and he hints at this, but he doesn't explicitly say it. There's not a lot of gaming sites out there which suit them, which means safe. Why is Reset Era safe? Because it's like the most PC gaming website in the world, and you can, like, there are no gamer words here. There are only like dick girls and racially sensitive people. Like, these are the ideal consumer. They police themselves. They hold to the ideology, which is ad safe. It's friendly for the purposes of profit, basically. Are the staff getting paid? Oh no. Sweating bullets over here. I don't want those kinds of questions. The people who have been handling paid work, such as the tech teams, will be making their own arrangements with MOBA Network to continue doing what they do. Moderators are still volunteers. Ooh. Ooh, where's my broom emoji? Hold up, I'm finding my broom emoji. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to pin that. So the people who actually do like technical work will get paid, but everybody else, they're doing it for free, and they're going to be fucking happy to do it. What is happening? Why is this happening now? In a couple weeks, we'll be celebrating our 4th anniversary as a site, and that seemed like a good window to aim for. Deals like this take a long time to come together, so the process began months ago. Ooh, that's great. 4 years is also about the window for a specific cycle. In the tech world, when it comes to startups, there's this window of, like, you make a startup, you get the product going, you establish a consumer base, and then you sell it. And that's about 4 years. If you're into tech startups, you got about 4 years to get your idea off the ground, get it going, and to find a buyer. Because now he's got $4.5 million. He can retire with that, right? Or he can use that money to invest in his next startup and make another $1 million a year, right? So that's about perfect for that startup cycle window. Is MOBA Network going to try and force us to interact with their other sites at all? They say no. There have been many sites and none of them have been forced to influence each other in any way. They have a good track record of preserving the independence and separation of sites they acquire. Their other sites will have no bearing on us and we will have no bearing on them. Why is this being announced at this hour? We needed to wait for MOBA Network to formally disclose the purpose, which meant waiting until the start of the business day in Sweden. This was the earliest possible time that it could be announced. Will my personal account data be safe? Yes, they say. Oh, some posts. Let's read this. Honestly, reading this whole deal made me realize how inherently selfish most people are. Couldn't some of the money been doled out to mods? No. Frantically Googling how to migrate a forum community. It won't do shit. Seems like a lot of the moderation team were unaware as to how profitable a venture the website was and therefore saw doing the work pro bono as a necessity. Either way, these people did the work for a community they care about and will get a whole $0 out of it. While one guy that barely does anything other than own the website walks away with millions of dollars. $0. They're like, I love how shocked they are. Like, the admin made a bunch of fucking money, and they're like, oh my god, we're fucking idiots. It's like with the Twitch thing. Like, how many of those people do you think giving money to people like Hassan are like, wait a second, you said that you needed this for your grandmother's surgery and diabetes medication. Why are you making $700,000 a month, Hassan? That's not what you said this money was for. Boy, if I was a mod, I'd be pretty pissed right now. And the great thing is, he doesn't have to care. He doesn't have to care. This guy doesn't have to give a fuck. He never has to deal with these fucking retards ever again. He can go to his balcony off his penthouse in New York and scream the N-word to his heart's content, and there's nothing any of them can do. People gotta stop asking Serium to pay the mods. He already left the building with briefcases full of money. He didn't give a fuck before, and he definitely will not give a fuck about the site now. LMAO. Fucking based. That is fucking great. You get what you asked for, and those Jannies asked for nothing. I feel like if I had like a lot of money coming in and I could afford to, I probably would pay the good mods. The good mods. The mods that have been there for like years and actually do, because there are Jannies that work for the site, but who help maintain it. And they put in, they're in the background. You don't even notice them. Those are the best kinds of mods that just do shit and you don't even notice them. Don't hold me to that though. So Amberlynn, just very briefly. Amberlynn's not interesting, but she, people found this video of her a long time ago, right? Of her putting on like a hat, like a wide brim hat, and saying that she looked like such a blackie, and then black people found this and have been memeing it. So I'll just play like a little itty bitty bit of this video because it's mildly funny. It's about as funny as Amberlynn gets, and I'll explain that in a second.
Black on black on black on black. Oh, of course you. When did I become such a blackie? Don't say that. Wait, what do you mean? That doesn't sound good. That's like emo. Black on black on black on black. Oh, of course you. When did I become such a blackie? Don't say that. Wait, what do you mean?
So that's the joke, is that she said that she's such a blackie, and then all these black people reacted to it.
Don't say that. Wait, what do you mean? Don't say that.
Look at his
face.
What
do you mean? That doesn't sound good.
He's not pleased with that white woman.
That's like emo. Black on black on black on black. Oh, of course you. When did I become such a blackie? Don't say that.
Why do so many of them are just like lip syncing her saying this?
On black on black on black. When did I become such a blackie? Don't say that.
She about to get fucking mugged by all these blackies. TikTok is gay, I agree. I closed down the Amberlynn board. That's my other news. I'll flip to this real quick. If you'll notice, the locale salon area is now much cleaner because I have gotten rid of the Amberlynn bored because I've made the determination that it sucks. And I will read my closure notice to sum up my feelings. Buck broken TikTok. So, Amberlynn Reid, I say, has been thoroughly, totally, and utterly destroyed by Chantal in terms of quality of content. In the last 2 years, Amberlynn was proposed to and then dumped by Becky. That is it. She carefully maintains appearances, ices everybody out of her life the moment they make her look bad, and maintains an insufferably smug persona as she eats herself to death. It is archived. She thinks she is beautiful despite being objectively hideous and unlovable. To maintain this facade of beauty, she resorts to doing absolutely nothing but sitting on her sofa pretending to live a better life off camera. This is not entertaining, and it does not deserve a dedicated board in our prestigious community. To clarify, over time, like, she used to do more. She was pretty active for a while, and then she just kind of settled down. And it was with the Becky stuff, because Becky's kind of boring. But Becky was also like very loyal to Amberlynn and almost never talked back to her. And there would be months where she did not put out any kind of content. She put out fucking nothing, and was just the most boring shit ever. And now her videos, she doesn't even do videos anymore. She does live streams where she just sits there on her couch for an hour to 2 hours, collecting super chats, doing fucking nothing. And it's because she's so afraid of making herself look bad. Whereas, as I explain, meanwhile, in the last year, Chantal broke up with her boyfriend. She moved back in with her ex. She became depressed and hooked up with an Egyptian drug addict. She has gotten addicted to cocaine. She has been the victim of domestic violence. She has caught the clap because her boyfriend cheats on her. During this time, her shamelessness has only grown, while Amberlynn continues to put up new walls to protect herself from the innate humiliation that comes with being a fat, useless retard. Chantal has thoroughly, in the time where Amberlynn has only become less interesting, Chantal has thoroughly destroyed her entire life. I didn't even mention her hysterectomy and all that shit. She really went from a snooty fat woman eating and pretending that she's a dainty girl on YouTube, which is when I did my stream about her, by the way. Maybe I'm overdue for a second stream on Chantal covering the new Chantal. Because when I did my stream on Chantal, she was still with BB, I think. She was still with BB, and she was still just a mukbanger on YouTube. And now she's a completely different person in a completely different living situation. So I don't know. That's in the cards, I guess. But yeah, it's just well, she's gotten I don't know. I guess Amberlynn just has so many more. She has a lot more hate watchers than Chantal does, and she really just wants to save face. So she saves face in the most boring way possible, where she just does less and less. She almost never goes outside. She has one specific angle that she lets herself be filmed from. Anybody in her life that has ever done anything to upset her is completely outed. The gay guys posted a video of her from an angle that she didn't find flattering, and despite the fact that Becky loved living with these two gay guys, they immediately moved out of this house, from what I remember. So she's just terrified of being made fun of, whereas Chantal is obsessed with it. Oh, don't you worry, I'm getting to Peetz. Stop letting Egyptians feed my girl. DSP is easier to hate watch in comparison. Almost. Amberlynn is I try to say don't get mad at locales, but I genuinely think that bad things need to happen to Amberlynn. She needs to be humbled. She never eats any humble pie. She just sits there and looks smug as fuck and then says, love that for you. Love that for you. Just over and over again. It's okay, something needs to happen to her that makes her realize that she is a fat, useless retard. And I hope that day comes soon, because I'm going to make fun of her when it happens. Spectre. I didn't even write a note about Spectre. I'll talk about Spectre for a second. I can't even remember what happened with Spectre that got him his thread. I think he deleted a bunch of stuff. There's a legal thread about two guys I don't know anything about. One guy's called Dean, but that's like a nickname. And Spectre makes a thread or makes a post in the thread saying like, I've been writing him legal drafts and sending, and I'll even pull this out. Give me a second. It's in his thread, and I want to read it. And like, I really don't know much about Spectre, except that he's like a desk guy from the military, and he talks like he says that he knew General Mattis, and apparently he doesn't like me now because I made fun of him. Let me see if I can find this real quick. And he deleted a bunch of posts when he realized he was being made fun of. Okay, I found it. So this is the thread. He also deleted a bunch of posts where he was doxing people, by the way. And he deleted a post about his conversations with Rikeda in private. So Preston Poulter et al. Versus Ali Dean Asaf et al. 2021. Don't know anything about this, except that I think one of the people is pro se. And he deleted this post. Dean asked me to help him, and I agreed to do so. It's legal as long as I don't claim to be a lawyer or able to represent him in any capacity in the lawsuit. I drafted some of it, proofread it, and gave it to Dean to do as he saw fit. That's really sketchy. He deleted this post because I guess he realized that it's a fucking bad idea to tell people this. But I'm pretty sure, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't make a judgment call on this, but I think he's in Massachusetts, but if he's giving this guy legal documents to sign over, like I get legal documents from my lawyer that are written in the first person. They're saying like, I, Joshua Moon, hereby declare solemnly and swear that ABC XYZ is true. And I'll read through it and make sure that I agree with all of it, and then I'll sign it. But that's because he's my lawyer. So you can't just like write something that someone is going to say that, oh, I wrote this, and then have it be like, oh, wash my hands of that because I wrote it in the first person as if I didn't write it myself and hand it off to be signed. It therefore doesn't count as me giving legal advice. Preston got pegged, filmed by his wife and uploaded it online. Wonderful. The law says in Massachusetts, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but it says no individual other than a lawyer shall practice law or otherwise hold himself out as authorized, entitled, competent, qualified, or able to practice law. Which I mean, okay, we'll do a thing. We'll do a poll. Do you think giving someone pre-made legal documents count as holding yourself competent? Counts as presenting yourself as a lawyer? Yes or no? Actually, it's there by default. And I'll ask my community. I'll ask my community what they think, and then I'll read the results. But I mean, he deleted it himself, so I assume that he regretted providing this information to people for whatever reason. Because if it is a crime, he is definitely saying that he's admitting to guilt effectively. It's about 50-50. No is slightly winning by less than 1%. Oh, wait, no, it flipped around. Now it's back up to yes by 4%. Stop steal. No, that's fucking stupid. He says he's drafting it. I drafted some of it, proofread it, and gave it to Dean to do as he saw fit. That sounds like he's saying, I know the law pretty well, enough to the point where I can give it to someone to sign off as if it's a legal document that was made by a lawyer. That's what it sounds like. So I don't know. People made a thread on him because of some reason. Someone remind me. Why did they make a thread on him? I forgot. Someone in chat tell me why. Because I don't want to sound like a stupid asshole and not know. But they've been planning it for a while. Stuff ballots. It's still up by barely 4%. It's pretty even. In Inspector's credit, it's about... Now it's a 2% difference. As long as he doesn't file the document, you think he should be okay. So you think that if someone goes up to someone who is not a lawyer, goes up to someone who is filing litigation pro se, and he presents him documents that are legal documents, and he says, I know a lot about law, and I have written these documents for you. Look over them, and if you think they're okay, you can sign off and file it. You think that that is not presenting yourself as legally competent, because that is what the law says for Massachusetts. I don't know, but I that's pretty iffy. The law, like in the U.S., legal advice is a commodity. It is a tightly regulated commodity, and it is something which only lawyers who are active in good standing with their respective state bars can sell. And random fucking people cannot. They can do it in the UK. In the UK, a non-lawyer can be a McKinsey friend and sell legal advice because they're fucking retarded. It is literally a 50-50 split. I've never seen this before. It's actually flip-flop between yes and no like 8 times. So I don't know. Biden this to do what he wants. Oh my God, no is winning now. I've been felted. Yes was in the lead for so long, and now the mail-in votes are fucking with me. Did he ask for money? Again, I don't know why people think this. If you go to a lawyer, a real lawyer, and you tell that lawyer, I have this case, I need advice, and the lawyer gives you advice, and you have not paid him, there is no expectation that you will be paid. He is still acting as your attorney, and you enjoy attorney-client privilege with him. There does not have to be a single cent exchange hands. There doesn't have to be a presumption that money will one day exchange hands. It is the act of giving advice and acting in that person's best interest as their attorney, which constitutes the attorney-client relationship. It's what the person thinks, not what is actually happening on contract. Very frustrating that people don't know that, because it's a right. It's your right as a citizen to know this. To not know it is depriving yourself of your rights. The machines are rigged. Spectre has fired up the U.S. Marine Corps, and now he's fucking with my election. Someone made a threat on him because he's a laughingstock. Something very specific happened, though. What pisses me off about him, and I've said this before, but what really pisses me off about Spectre is that he continuously talks in a first-person plural way. He says we. Like, motherfucker, you are one person and you in no way, shape, or form represent this community. You are not an advocate for this community. You're not this community's fucking lawyer. You're not a moderator. You're not a staff member. You never have been. You never will be. You're not a we. Unless you have fucking, like, delusions, unless you're haunted by ghosts, there is no we. Why do you keep saying we? And I've told him, stop saying we. You are not a representative of this site in any way. And he continuously does it. Which is why I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. I'll let her thread on you, because fuck you, for real. Nobody else does this. This isn't like a common thing I have to swat down, like people saying we, or not people saying we, but people saying touching the poop. Stop saying that. That's fucking gross. But that's like a broader community issue where people who have low IQ keep saying gross shit like that. Or ween, when they don't know what that word means. That's shit that people do that's a me problem, that bothers me. And is not like a thing that people do on accident. But saying we, when you're one person, that's unique to Spectre. That's a issue with him. People are saying what? Touching the poop is a thing that people say when they have an IQ somewhere between 70 and 80, and they want to express the idea that you should not fuck with locales off the site. And instead of using a normal expression like don't fuck with people, or look, don't touch, or something like that, no trolling plans, they say don't touch the poop. And it's like, that's fucking gross. That is a gross mental image. That is fucking juvenile. That is stupid. And they keep doing it. And I've word filtered it from touching the poop to pause load my neck hole. And if you say touch the poop, it's pause loaded my neg hole. Touching the poop is pause load my neg hole. Don't touch the poop, don't pause load my neg. I've tried to filter every possible permutation of this expression to pause load my neg hole, and they keep fucking doing it. It's very frustrating, but that's a me problem. That's something I don't like. Nobody but Spectre says we. Literally nobody but Spectre says we. If he made a sock account, I would immediately be able to pick him out of the lineup because he would say we. Stab the little kid. Don't subscribe to PewDiePie. Change it to Sneed. Don't Sneed. Stop sneeding. That's funny. So that's the Spectre update. He has a thread. He's pretty embarrassing. He does his own streams now because everyone does, and he tries to impersonate Nick Rekieta. He has like a Rekieta setup where he like reads legal documents. And I can't like, okay, Rekieta is like, he has some personality. He has an interesting life. He has like a family and stuff. So he has a perspective that's interesting. And he's a real lawyer. If you want to say that he's a shitty lawyer, you know, more power to you. I don't care. But he is licensed by the Minnesota bar to practice law in that state. So he has a legal perspective, whether or not you think it's a good one. Spectre is like a clerk from the army. What the fuck does that have to do with legal documents? Why are you sitting there pretending to be Rekieta? Stop it. Go to school first. You can start your streaming career after you get your law license like a normal person. We need to make that a law. You can't impersonate a lawyer, and you can't impersonate a lawyer on YouTube unless you have a bar exam passed. Hey, babe. Okay, let's read so Kingle, who I did a stream on a long time ago, wrote a letter to Chris, and Chris replied, I've not read this. I've been informed that it is very similar to the initial letter that was directed to me, kind of, that was sent to somebody else. But I've not read it, so I'm gonna go into this blind, and we'll enjoy this together. Peetz is coming at the end, I promise. By the way, with 1,000 votes, no beat yes by about 6%. So 530 of those voters are retarded. Sorry to say, if you voted no, you should get tested for retardation. It's like that GIF where the guy says, "I'm retarded," and he looks into the mirror and he's got Down syndrome. That's you. Literally, go look in the mirror. You've got Down syndrome. You just don't know it yet. Hey, Kenneth. This is the body of your and my soul partner, Jesus. Oh my God, he's literally calling himself Jesus now. Your and my soul partner, I feel dirty reading this. Like I'm committing blasphemy. And you know, blasphemy is the only unforgivable sin in the Bible. I'm going to pronounce it Jesus because I don't want to offend anyone. It's like saying Yahweh. You can't say Yahweh if you're Jewish because that's offensive. You can't say God's name. So instead of calling him Jesus Christine, I'll call him Jesús Christine. Your and my soul partner, Jesús Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, speaking to you on her blessed behalf. I know everything through Christine, though Christine knows more from her experiences since our extended separation since September 16th, 2021. She shall return for me for the apex of our second coming. Technically would be a third coming, right? The Third Reich. For those remaining who do not know, between Christine and I combined and divided, we are the real player one and the one avatar, I, the body, and the one God, than Jesus Christ of Nazareth himself. The conclusion of the shift for the majority that are good and those recoverable. Wait, no, sorry. This is worse. This is worse than the first one. The first one was more comprehensible. The conclusion of the dimension merge's completion includes the completion of the collective shift from the majority that are good and those recoverable from Earth's 1218 to Earth 1C211987, and the second coming of Christine and I, together again as your fully reawakened Lord, Messiah, Savior God, and Judge over the minority who are the toxic, darkest sinners, haters, fakers, and darkest demonics who shall be left behind on 1218 Earth to burn. We are now on Malachi 3 and 4 of the Old Testament in any Bible. The future of all Sonichus and Rosachus and still continued immortal care and guard watch from I and our husband Magichan Sonichu Prime of Universe 1C211987 and C197 before the recombination shall remain the same for the future of all Pokemon. Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario, Ratchet and Clank, Neptune, Blank, Nor, Vert, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, Eric Cartman, Tsukino Usagi, Goku, Inuyasha and Kagome, Papa Smurf, Harari Suzumiya, Gumball Watterson, S&T, Lightning Bliss, Dr. Wolf, Princess Star Butterfly, and Marco Diaz, Optimus Prime, Autobot, Sanchu, and Chris Chan, Tony Stark, Bruce Wayne / Batman, in case you didn't know, Diana / Wonder Woman, President Lisa Simpson, Sunset Shimmer, Princess Twilight Sparkle, Raven, Janae Wakerman / XJ9. Oh, okay, the robot girl from Nickelodeon. Danny Phantom, Fox McCloud, the Jedi, Captain Kirk, and so on, into all present day existent, original, and quote-unquote fictional characters, including the majority of all of UOCs of 1218 Earth, here, and myself and Christine, we are all continue on in greatest partially immortal stead, mutually chronicling and alive, safe, and well forevermore. So yeah, Englehart, I have just answered 2 of your questions, and to make it more clear, I am the God body. Christine is literally God herself, and we are both Jesus Christ reincarnated. So spiritual and religious philosophies had even farther expanded. A day in this jail, as constantly written in the daily goddess log, Christine and I, we mediate deep, connected with Earth, the cosmos and universe and dimensions of this timeline, as well as the entire multiverse. Energy conservation and continued workings well above anyone's head on this 1218 Earth. Write daily logs with insight and wisdoms, and then some. I have a temporary soul partner, a holy flame type you may remember, on her repentance tour, keeping me safe, well, not abused, and good, alongside many good angels, spirits, and OP allies. So his allies are OP, I guess. And as opposed to everything else, which is not OP. God and Jesus are not, but his allies are. His other allies. Like XJ9 from that cartoon. In and around this jail of fail. Oh my god, that is a proper quickism. We presently have a genuine Turkish prayer rug. So they gave him a Muslim prayer rug. I hope he's pointing it to Mecca correctly so that his prayers can be heard. and a deck of playing cards from the commissary, along with very much appreciated sports bra. They gave him a bra. Socks with no holes, earplugs, and a few other goodies. Foods mostly good and well, not perfect meatballs. Banquet dinners have better meatballs. And chicken is often dry. And at present, we are asking all peoples to send money to the Sonichu Temple at 14 Branchland Court in Reckersville, Virginia, to pay off the mortgage and remaining debts. Food for Barbara is also appreciated, and visitors who personally offer genuine kindness and good intentions are all encouraged to visit the temple. Prayers to and for Christine and I are appreciated and shall be answered. All prayers to Jesus have been going to Christine for nearly 40 years now, and absolutely nothing is to be taken from within the temple or its property yard or defaced. All those who do this shall be struck down by my allies, the gods and heaven's armies. Blessings of great measures, personally, for all who come, visit, and bring good, positive tithes and offerings. Is that it? Oh no, this is also there. Oh my god, it keeps going. Also, donations to my inmate account can be made through the Central Virginia Regional Jail's website, and only U.S. postal money orders, cashier's checks, or certified checks made out and addressed to Christine is acceptable through postal mail. While that is greatly appreciated as well, the needs of the Sonichu Temple and Barbara's safety and hers in mind keep of the temple remains of higher priority. And lastly, but importantly, contact the local Virginia governor of Ruckersville and Charlottesville, Virginia, as well as the President Biden, and get me Christine's body, as well as Christine herself, a full pardon in all caps to get me out of this jail and mess, please. What had happened was literally. Can you imagine if Biden did that? That'd be great if it was like if this happened like right around the time of the insurrection or whatever you want to call it, the January 6th stuff, and then like Trump's in office is that his last week, and instead of pardoning any of those people on Capitol Hill, he just pardons Chris, who was sitting in jail for incest, and that's it. And he gets out. What had happened was literally a divine mission, oh my God, commissioned to Christine and I by Emmanuel God, above gods, herself, to heal and cleanse Barbara's health and soul, and being a clear her of remaining sins and regrets through cuddling, talking, and supportive soul bonding to mainly extend her life personally by divine intervention. That's like a cult leader thing. Hey baby, have sex with me. I'll cleanse your soul with my penis. As Christine had told the few others via mail and posted onto Kiwi Farms. How does he know that? How is this motherfucker browsing my website with in jail? Maybe Kingle told him. All of you were being and are now being divinely tested with the divinely purposed leak of this information. Too many of you have epically failed by responding and giving into the drama, instead of ignoring this with greater considerations of the context and knowing better of Christine, the past situations, and leaving it as a lost rumor. Just ignore that I have sex with my mother. Instead, a lot over 2,000 years ago in Israel, on History Repeat, alongside Judas and Noel, Christine was massively betrayed like she was in her and mine past life there. Meditate on all that now, or ask a genuine, highly enlightened psychic to see for yourself. Consider this your interview, Kenneth. Go ahead, please, and share all of this in confirmation with that handwritten original pages were already posted as well. Thanks. Sincerely, Godbody of Mrs. Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, the Goddess Blue Heart, and Lord Messiah of... Oh, and Savior of all. Postscript. Have you ever sat on a prayer rug with a deck of playing cards playing solitaire? It is a genuinely humbling experience. I highly recommend it. I shall suddenly come to my temple. Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, October 5th, 2021. All you had to do was draw, Chris. All you had to do was draw and not fuck your mother. What a disaster. Read the Muslim letter. No. I really don't want to make a habit of reading Chris's letters because this is a bit much. The part where he just like names every cartoon character that comes to fucking mind is just like ridiculous. He needs to be committed to like a place where like someone monitors his internet connection all the time. Okay. It's now time for the Ralph Report. Editor, it's me, Joshua Connor Moon, editor-in-chief of theralphreport.com. Ralph, where do I start? This week has been slow in the Ralphiverse. He's sort of like in between causing problems for himself right now. He's waiting on a bunch of legal stuff to settle. He's also really, really looking forward to returning to Vegas in 45 days. I already showed did I show the Kid Diddler hat last? I must have showed the Kid Diddler hat last week. There's no way I didn't. If not, I'll pull up the Kid Diddler hat if I have to. So, Gunt is boring. Yes, he is, but he's fun to make fun of because he gets really angry. Here, I'll show it again. Look at this. This picture is so fucking funny. This is perfect. I need to find some way to immortalize this. I might sell this as a postcard. That would be too like kitsch because Ralph does this shit where he like makes merchandise just to dab on people. But really, this is a great picture. This is fantastic. He's so happy. He's so happy to be wearing that fucking hat. He is like genuine. Like his soul has lifted up just a little bit because he wears that hat and he thinks this is an epic own of Josh Moon. And then all someone has to do is drop the top margin of that page like half an inch and it has a completely different meaning. It's really just amazing because it's really made by just how happy he is to be wearing the hat. That really makes it. So he's been boring this week because he's just betting on sports. So he like spurgs out sometimes during his Tequila Sunrise shit, but then it's just like literally watching ESPN footage. Well, listening for 20 minutes to listen to black guys talk about hoops. Black people talking about hoops. He plays 20 minutes like without commentary. Just some black man being like, shit, man, I didn't want to get no vaccine, man. And I tell him I don't want to get no vaccine. He said, well, you can't play no more unless you get no vaccine. And then he's like, no, shit, I just want to make medical decision about my body and shit. I don't want to take no fucking vaccine. I'm perfectly healthy. I don't want to take no vaccine. Then they're just like, well, you got to take a vaccine if you want to play. And I'm like, I don't want to play no fucking game if I got to take no fucking vaccine. Fuck y'all. And it's like 20 minutes of that. And it's like, okay, we get it. Thank you. And that's the show. It's fucking unbelievable. But then he has this guy. I don't know who the fuck Jay Dyer is. He's some other asshole on like that sphere, that sector, where he talks about racism and how base the N-word is. And I agree it's base, but then he acts, this guy, Jay Dyer or whatever the fuck, makes the crucial danger mistake of accidentally making a joke at Ralph's expense, and Ralph squares up, and you can tell this guy is like genuinely surprised that Ralph took it so personally. So I will play this clip.
Will make you stop having kids. I might I might need.
That's what the ball zapper does. The ball zapper is supposed to make you sterile.
I got two. I don't know. I didn't say I wanted to go full sterile. Maybe just like a break. Is there one I can take that'll like set it off for a week?
Is that really a problem for you, Ralph? Though I mean, are the women really all over you, or?
I mean, I got 2 kids. About to have 2 kids. How many do you have?
No, but I mean, not the kids from her other husband, but like your own kids.
No, they're my kids.
I'm just making jokes, man. It's just jokes.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not funny, though. That's the only thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You look like a faggot in that lighting, by the way. I saw that in chat.
I am a faggot in this lighting at all times.
You're a faggot at all times, I think. You
Yes.
said it right there.
Not just in the lighting.
Just at all times, yeah. Yeah. I still remember when Worski fired you from his show. That was pretty funny. Yeah,
It was.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
But I took JF's job, so.
Say what?
I took JF's job, so.
Yeah. Well, I see where JF's at now. That's a pretty tough spot.
Where's that?
Cube whack. Yeah. Do you got a problem, or do you have anything you want to say, or like?
What do you mean?
I think I was pretty clear.
Do I have a problem? No.
Okay.
I thought you liked to joke around. I thought I was just making jokes.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not that funny, though. Seems like a personal problem at this point.
I'm sorry. I didn't intend it to be. Are you fucking with me? I can't tell.
Yeah, I am. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. Does that anger you, or?
No, I'm not sure what's happening right now.
That's what's happening. I mean, I'm just asking you about it. Seems like some things built up. You're taking a couple shots. I'm just asking you about it.
No, I literally thought you liked to do.
Nah, you're
jokes
taking
back and
personal
forth.
shots. I'm asking you about it.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It wasn't intended to be that way.
Okay.
He's immediately
All right, let's move
satisfied
along,
after he
then.
apologizes, which to me, it did feel like he was kind of shitting on Ralph a little bit, but I really don't think that he expected Ralph to like flip out on him like that. You should have pressed him though. That would have been fucking funny. I don't know. Ralph takes that as a win for sure. He got him to apologize, and that's like that thing where those Yoba people like are making fun of him on the street, and then he like walks up to them and is like, "Do I like?" Gets right up in their fucking face and wigs out and shit. And then any reaction that doesn't result in somebody going to jail or ending up on their ass on the street is a win to him at that point. He just wants friends. He pissed off everybody. He had friends at some point. Jay is awesome. I don't know who that guy is at all, to be honest with you. I just don't know. The other thing that happened with Ralph is that Secure Server apparently has been compromised again, and that resulted in the Killstream.tv site being defaced with just a picture of the original Gunt picture. So Secure Server is having to move Ralph's fork of that site to its own thing because he's like such a security risk to the rest of Secure Server that they're like isolating him so that he doesn't pose a security threat to like the rest of the setup anymore, which is probably smart. But I mean, they shouldn't have been so easily compromised to begin with, to be honest with you. Yeah, this is the third time, if it's been 3 separate incidents. I got tagged like 8 times in the forum chat with like, pause load my neg hole. All these people want me to pause load their neg hole for some reason. Alright. Alright. That's it for Ralph. For now. The only other kind of interesting going ons right now is that Peetz, the sidekick of Chantal, has been talking about how his mentals are really bad. He's basically saying, my mentals are so bad, I can't work on a call center from home anymore. My mentals. So he wants to start up a YouTube channel, and I think I've talked briefly about this last week, just when he started doing it. He said that he wants to do his own YouTube channel because obviously starting your own YouTube channel is the best thing to do when you have poor mental health and you can't handle socializing with people at all. So his streams are really, really fucking boring. He just sits there with his hands in his lap and he answers questions as they come in from Chantel's fans, mostly. But this question in particular made me laugh. If I can get my VLC, there we go.
Mussolini, will I become the girlfriend?
One more time.
Mussolini, will I become the girlfriend?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next question. Never answers it. 8 seconds of sitting there contemplating, will I become the girlfriend, before moving on to the next question. In the world of transgenderdom, we call this the egg cracking moment. His egg has cracked and he is now ready to transition to a beautiful butterfly, a beautiful pizza fly. It's happening now. So on top of that, there's one more video that I want to play. It's about 14 minutes long, so this will essentially be our playoff video. Before I do that though, I should because this is interesting and I want to tell people this. Because I don't think a lot of you know. I have found from my lurkings on the girl boards, both domestic on the Kiwi farms and abroad, that there is a phenomenon that us men, would never know because we don't have to put up with it. But I want to expose this to all 1,900 of you, plus those who will watch the replay, that there does exist this. Here we have a picture of a man in a tutu wearing stockings and high heels, sucking on a pacifier in a sheep wig. But what does it say there at the bottom? Let me upwind Firefox, you can actually see it. Bottom left, most comfortable heels ever by Benjamin Burkholder. Absolutely love these shoes. They are my new favorite pair. I love how sparkly and sexy they are. They are super comfortable and easy to walk in. Highly recommend purchasing them. So you might think that this is some sort of like humiliation porn that I got off some horrific subreddit. But this is actually an image that I have downloaded, or that the person who made this image macro downloaded off of Amazon. So, if you're a man, you have no idea of this. But the women can tell you that if you go to Amazon and you look up any kind of apparel and you read the reviews, you will find pictures just like this of innocuous shit like shoes of trannies in full drag, in full fetish gear, imposing themselves on women just trying to find a pair of heels to buy. And you can do this with anything. I have seen similar pictures with everything you could possibly fucking imagine. So men, you have no idea. But the women know. And Amazon can't do anything about this. Amazon can't do anything about this. Because what happens if they delete this obviously inappropriate picture? Well, then they're canceled. They're being transphobic. Look, a woman, J Plum, yes, we know Jersh. But the men don't. They have to know that this is what the female experience is like. You say, oh, I need some shoes. Let me go to Amazon. Oh, these shoes look nice. Let's check the reviews. And then you see this shit. You see this shit for every fucking thing that you want to buy. And all you can do about it is bitch about it on fucking CGL or Locale Farm or on the Kiwi farms. Because if you were to say anything about it on like a place connected to your identity, it would just be called transphobic. Like, obviously, trans girls can buy shoes and review shoes. Why shouldn't they be able to? This is perfectly normal behavior. So these are the wages of sin. If you have a daughter, just keep in mind, if you ever have a daughter as you grow up, and you have a family, you have a kid, and she's a girl, and just know that by the time she's like 12 and starting to shop for herself, this is what she will be exposed to immediately. Look, Nicole, every fucking thing that I want to buy, exactly. Like the more anime it is, the worse it gets. But it's like they do this for completely innocuous shit too, because they want you to see whoever the fuck that was. What's her name? Diane. They want you to see. You see this ass right here? You see this? This is what they want you to see. They want you to look at it. That's their fetish, is making you fucking look at it. It's disgusting. It's sickness is what it is. Anyways, Peetz. Let's look at Peetz for a second. Oh, it's in Firefox. I don't have to get rid of my thing. So this is from Peetz. This is called What I Look For in a Woman. And we'll just sit back and we'll relax and we'll hear straight from the horse's mouth what he wants in a woman. This camera quality is really low, but I'll play it a little bit faster so that people playing at 1.5 can still understand it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for staying with me for so far. Still early days, but thank you for staying with me so far. So one question I've been asked quite a few times is what I look for in a woman. I am single right now, so that's sort of a big reason why that question comes up, I think. So, yeah, I guess I will go over what I really look for in a woman. First off, breathing. And even that's negotiable. I'm kidding. Stole that joke.
So, immediately, you're okay, let's pretend that you're a guy, right? And you're trying to attract a woman. The first thing that you want to do is make it known that you have no standards. You will take anybody. You'll even fuck a corpse. You're truly desperate. Women, there's something that women really love about men, and that's desperation. They want to feel like they're the last choice and that you are completely worthless and you have no standards. That really appeals to women.
Joke from somewhere. I totally forget where I heard that joke. But anyway, yeah. So first thing, she needs to live in Ottawa, because that's where I live. I'm not really interested in a long-distance relationship right now. I want to be able to cuddle, cuddle and smooch. So, needs to be someone that I can actually meet with in person.
That also gives me real bad Chris Chan vibes, where it's just like, my whole world is Ottawa, Canada, and I don't know anything outside of that. So if you want to date me, you have to also be in Ottawa. Like, he just can't imagine anything else but that life.
I am, unfortunately, somewhat shallow. I do want to be at least a little bit physically attracted to the woman. There's nothing really specific in terms of the looks. Race, hair color, eye color, body shape, most of it not really important. Do like a girl with huge tracts of land. I'm kidding. Breast size, like I said, breast size doesn't matter to me. Body shape, there's nothing specific I look for in terms of the woman's appearance. I do want her to be, somewhat attractive, but she doesn't need to be like a 10 or anything like that.
It's not only like awkward, it's like offensive, and it doesn't really explain what he's looking for. I want someone who's attractive. Okay, well, what does that mean? Does she have to be thin? Does she have to be tall? Does she have to be short? Like, he says race doesn't matter, and he doesn't give specifics, and then he makes a really awkward joke about tit size, which is off-putting to most people. It doesn't even matter if they're a woman. It's off-putting to me to hear him talking about boobs, because Peetz is like the least sexual person I can think of. But then it's like, okay, you want to be somewhat attracted to her. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what? name something. Have the dignity to like say what you're actually into. And I really don't even know. I even to this day, like, okay, he has said repeatedly, because people are joking, oh, he needs a brap hog. He has said repeatedly he's not attracted to bigger women. That's just what he gets. He fucked Chantal because that was all he could get. So what is he actually attracted to? I don't fucking know. I think he says that he jerks off to amateur lesbians. So it's like, what does that mean? Are you going to become are you going to become a transbian, Peetz? Like, what are you doing?
Getting more specific, no kids. I do not want kids. I do not like kids. I don't want to be, part of raising somebody else's kids. So yeah, no kids. And something that's probably going to be a bit more of a deal breaker for a lot of women: no dogs. I don't like dogs. I'm scared of them. I'm really uncomfortable with them. Doesn't matter how sweet your dog is. I will not be comfortable with the dog. So I don't want to date somebody who has a dog.
That's also weird, because he doesn't say, like, I'm afraid of, like, Rottweilers or Nidbulls. I don't like dogs. What if it's a Chihuahua? What if it's, like, Amberlin's Twinkie? Like, what fucking, like... Is there like a limit? Is he like afraid of all dogs? Is he morbidly afraid of, like, if it's like a Shiba or a Corgi? Is that also terrifying to him? What the fuck is it? What are you saying, bro?
Any woman I date does have to like cats, because I like cats and I have a cat. So that's honestly sort of the biggest possible deal breaker, I think, is that part.
That rolls out all the white women.
I would prefer an indoor person. I find a lot of the, like, when I go on dating sites, I find that there's a lot of outdoor people. Ooh, they like to camp, they like to play sports, they like to go for hikes and biking, and I don't like doing any of that stuff. I like just sitting inside with air conditioning on. So I'd want somebody who is more into that as well.
Okay, that's fair. You can say I'm an indoorsy person, but like usually when you say I like to read, I like to watch movies, I like to I like to do these things. I like to do indoorsy things like XYZ. I just still do stuff. I just do it indoors. He just says, like, I like to be inside. I like to vegetate in my chair. I don't have any interest. Next topic, please. Thank you.
They do have to like Studio Ghibli. All I really want is somebody I can cuddle up with and watch.
I'm going to do a poll about this.
Ghibli movies. For more, personality stuff, I just want someone I can chill out with, talk to, laugh with. Somebody who I have fun being around, who I find pleasant to be around and enjoyable company. We don't need to discuss philosophy or anything like that, but someone that I can have a conversation with, and someone who has a sense of humor that is close enough to mine that will laugh at similar things.
So my question was, would Pete say no to a 9 out of 10 if she didn't like Ghibli? Like, if she was perfect in all ways except that she didn't like Studio Ghibli, or I don't know how it's pronounced, so don't fucking correct me. I don't care. It's Japanese. I could not give less of a shit. Would Pete say no to that person if she didn't like Studio Ghibli? And like, a lot of people, like, okay, 2/3 are saying yes, he would say no to those people, but like, maybe it's a joke and it's just too autistic to make it sound like a joke, but it really sounds like he's saying, don't even fucking email me. Don't even fucking email me if you don't like Studio Ghibli. You motherfuckers, you're not good enough for me, bitch. Don't fucking bother.
In terms of hobbies, don't really need hobbies to match or anything like that. She doesn't need to be like a big comic geek or whatever. We should obviously have some common interests. Some TV shows that we both like, that we can watch together, or, whatever, something that we both like that we can do together. That obviously is something that is, pretty helpful in in maintaining any sort of relationship is being able to do something together. I need a woman who has.
So the last two things he talked about were like, I want a woman who does things that I do. I want a woman who has my sense of humor. Like, I want a woman I can have a conversation with. Like, about what? What is your sense of humor? What are you like? What do you like to do? This is 14 minutes long. You have plenty of time to explain in detail, like, what you're doing with your life and what you enjoy. And he does not talk about anything he actually likes and what's to do with you. Like, why do you want a relationship, Peetz? Like, why do you even want a relationship if you don't fucking do anything? What are you going to share with this person in your head? All he's thinking about is lesbian scissoring. You see that big bald spot right above his eyes? Lesbian scissoring. That's all that's happening up there. He's not thinking about anything else. He's not thinking about Studio Ghibli. It's just the lesbian scissoring.
Common values to me, which is probably going to mean no conservatives, because they have just very different values than I do. So, yeah, someone who sort of has the same general worldview. No TERFs, obviously. Trans women are women, trans men are men. If you don't agree with that, I don't want anything to do with you. So, that's a big one right there.
There goes my
speaking
entire
of which, I would be
audience.
open to dating a trans woman. Obviously, it depends again if I find her attractive, and if we get along in other ways. But I don't think there's really anything about trans women that would turn me off, really. I'd be open to it.
Nothing, Peetz. Not a very specific thing about a trans woman that might turn you off. Perfectly okay with everything. No conditions you want to attach to that. Just trans women are women, so I'm okay with it. I wonder if he actually is ready to suck the girl dick, or if he just like says that because he has to, and it's just like any tranny that sends him their profile just goes like straight into the trash. You know what? Fuck that. I'll make that my next poll. I'm gonna be doing polls all day today. Is he? I have to wait, but is he addicted to the girl dick already, or is he just saying that so we can throw them in the dumpster?
Beyond that, don't really think there's much else that I really need to mention in terms of... Oh, actually, yes. I do want a woman who's reasonably confident, and someone who doesn't really rely on other people for validation. Someone who is able to... someone who's just kind of confident. Not necessarily super confident, but like I said, someone who doesn't rely on other people for validation. A lot of people...
Okay, no, hold up. We have an emergency situation type deal. Mahatma Gaddafi says, I am a TERF, as in I don't think they are women, but like, which man wouldn't fuck Blair White? Sir, Mahatma Gaddafi, whoever you are behind that screen name, I hate to be the one to break this to you in front of 2,000 people, but you are a homosexual. You are gay. You want to have sex with men. You are coping and sneaking right now that you are actually straight, but in fact, sir, you don't know it yet, but you are you are gay, and you'll find out very soon. Please don't get a woman pregnant before you figure out that you're gay.
Do. Yeah, so someone who doesn't. Beyond that, I don't think there's really much else specific that I'm really looking for. Really, it just comes down to, whether we click. Really, that's all it really is. Whether we actually get along.
So his next...
I am on a couple of dating sites. I'm on OK.
His next stipulation is that she has to be like assertive. She has to have like confidence, and she has to click. So what he's saying is, I want someone who is like confident enough to improve my life, but not so and I don't have to like compliment her or bring her up in any way. I need someone who can basically make me happy and be completely self-reliant and not really need me in any way, shape, or form, and it's just like a net benefit to me, like a complete and total benefit to me without having to give anything in return.
Cupid and Plenty of Fish, and I do have Tinder, but I'm not putting any real effort into looking for a girlfriend. I'm at a stage where I'm open to dating, but not actively seeking.
Peetz wants his mom. Please. She's in a home. She's in a senior care home because she's like infirm. She's that old now. Please, let's not wish this into existence. I can't take it anymore.
Anybody? If something comes along, cool, great. If not, I'm fine as I am right now. It's not a big deal for whether I'm single or not. I've been single for 8 years as it is, so what difference is a little bit longer going to make, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I look for. On another topic, I've got a lot of subscribers. I'm at like 4,500 subscribers right now, last I looked, so that's pretty great.
And you know what's scary now that I think about it? The last live stream he did, he said that he was going someplace. I can't remember where, but he said he was going someplace, probably like Halloween related. And someone in his chat asked, how are you going to get there? Because he doesn't drive. Because of course he doesn't. He's a 36-year-old man baby. He doesn't know how to drive a car. So he gets taken everywhere by Chantal. And he instinctively said, my mom is going to drive me. But he has not lived with his mom in like almost a year now, I want to say. So in his head, and he quickly corrected himself, Chantal is going to drive me. So in his head, he confuses Chantal and his mom. Like just like in the lower parts of his brain, he gets the two mixed up.
Thank you all for following me. And I'm at 3.4 thousand viewing hours. I need 4,000 viewing hours before I can apply to have my channel monetized. So I'm actually getting pretty close to that, which is pretty cool. And thank you all for that, for getting me close to that. Be nice. It'll be nice to get just a little bit extra money. Not necessarily live off YouTube or anything like that, but just a little bit extra spending money. So it'll be really cool to have that. And of course it is Wednesday, so it is New Comic Book Day.
It is Wednesday.
So there's a few big ones out there. There's the finale of Immortal Hulk, which has been just a phenomenal series.
So for the last 4 minutes of this is just going to talk about comic books?
One of the best comics Marvel's put out in recent years.
Oh God!
One of the better Hulk runs.
He can't.
So
he can't stop. He can't stop talking about comic books. He's doing his dating profile, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm thinking about like in the back. I thought it was lesbian scissoring. It's actually comic books."
That beard really completes him.
I was talking about how sexy comic book characters are.
There's also Marvel Tales, Ms. Marvel. The Marvel Tales is just like just takes sort of notable issues a bit for characters and puts them together. So that one's got like her first appearance at the very, very end of an issue of Captain Marvel, and
you know how
a short story that was in.
You know how these movies keep making like $3 billion?
So if you're interested in
because of
the
Peetz
version of Ms. Marvel, then yeah, you can check that out.
That's why. It's because of Peetz. Why is Endgame rated one of the best films of all time? It's because of Peetz.
Should pretty much cover everything.
There has to be millions of Peetzes.
Worth talking about.
There's millions of people like this man out there watching movies and buying comic books and rating and posting on Twitter.
Have been asking me to.
Can you believe this?
An Amazon wish list, so that they can go in and.
Now he's setting up his Amazon wish list so that people can buy him comic books that he can't afford.
So, which is, pretty good idea. So, what I did is I went ahead and set up a chapters wish list. I'll get around to posting a link to it somewhere soon.
What the fuck is it?
Probably not for a few more days.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Figure out some more stuff to put on there first.
Is he literally asking people to buy him comic books for him in his dating profile?
I'll do that, and I'll see if there's any other.
Oh my God, black pilled again, chat.
Non-Amazon
I can't
sites
take
that
this.
I can set up wish lists on.
He literally thinks that his viewers are going to buy him fucking comic books.
Really, worthwhile for this video. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. Thank you again for your views. If you haven't watched my live from last night, it's available.
We all know. Just tune out. Just tune out. if Peetz truants out, he can become transbians with someone like Jonathan Yanov. They can be transbians. You know, I would make a joke and say that he could hook up with Commie Dick Girl, but Commie Dick Girl too good for Peetz. Commie Dick Girl out there, Commie Dick Girl out there in New Mexico, active, going into Popeyes, yelling at people. Peetz can't do that. That's too assertive. That's like too assertive to be mommy GF. We need someone less assertive than, like, I think Yanov is that good middle ground between, because Yanov is assertive, but he's also kind of a pushover, so he's like in that happy medium between the two. I mean, he didn't specifically say pre-op, post-op. He didn't clarify at all. He didn't specify any body type, so Yanov is fine for Peetz, I guess. I mean, what can I say about Southwest? Like, this guy is spamming to talk about Southwest. Like, he's spamming, like, for minutes, talk about Southwest. People from Poland went to Southwest Airlines and posted a bunch of racist shit that I can't read because it'll make the archive impossible to host. And I guess it caused, like, a backup, and because pilots went on strike. They called in sick. Well, pilots can't go on strike legally because it's like the government won't let them because it causes problems. So they just called in sick all at once because of the vaccine mandate. There's a bunch of posts, dude. Like, they're just saying Sneed and stuff and racist shit and Bane posting. Like, it's a poll raid. You fill in the gaps. It's a poll raid, and it caused them to close the board. And I guess the only interesting thing is that they blamed it on white supremacism. Here, I'll read that. Oh, wait, no, wrong one. Show the front, bro. This guy's, like, super pissed off. Due to an ongoing attack by white nationalists and far-right organizations, we have terminated the user forums as a precautionary measure. For any urgent travel and security-related issues, please contact gkelly at southwest.com. And it's just like, it's a poll raid. You know what that looks like. You can just mark your own, oh, that's a sticky, I guess. I nutted on my George Floyd toy and accidentally created a George Floyd homunculus. Like, this is all copy pasta. Reddit wins. No darkies on my flight. Go back to Reddit now. You're overloading the site. I love Lum. Like, it's just, yeah. It's a pull raid. You know what that looks like, homie? You guys not know this? Joe Biden's entire cabinet is Jewish. Joe Biden's entire cabinet is Jewish. Race mixing is funded and led by Jews and with Vietnamese characters. Southwest Airlines has no heart for trans women with prosthetic vaginas. I like how plural in a word is not censored, but vagina is. Is Israel responsible for this? Poop juice. 1488 domestic flights canceled. Middle seat is an ugly transsexual Jew and deserves to be gassed, even though the Holocaust is a lie, by Tom Hunky. Then there's one, I think this is my favorite one of all the posts. Harassment on Southwest Airlines support forums. What the fuck is wrong with this place? I've been visiting Southwest Airlines for a week now, and so far I have had my life threatened by someone claiming to be an ex-Navy SEAL. Been told in multiple paragraphs that I'll never have ovaries or be a woman. Been called a rabbi more times than I can count. Every time I try to get a genuine response from any of you people when I address what I've been told, I'm either called an N-word or kike, or that I'm told to dilate, glow, or kill myself. Can I please just have a normal discussion where we talk about our flights without racist slurs and weird terminology? What the hell is a Sneed anyways? And you might think this is a real post, but it's made by a user called the Levon Affair, so I'm pretty sure this is also a troll. I'm pretty sure that this is not a genuine user of Southwest Airlines. It's very funny, but it's just a poll raid. Proof that Biden is a great man who loves children. Do gay people have souls? In-flight dilation station. Can I reserve milk truck girl, sir? Live free or fucking die. This is a good one right here. I can't say it. I'm a good boy. I would never say such terrible things. But that's funny how fuck is bleeped out, but not the N word when it's plural. Restriction on slaves for carry-on. If Sneed sells feed and seed. Nigel Farage, who is also a troll, obviously says, "I'm just warning you. You are messing with a company with government ties and considered an essential business. Come slut thread. No Kamala Harris pics. Win an action-packed trip to Detroit. Are Canadians allowed on your airline yet?" Very funny. Sucks that they're all going to go to a CIA internment camp run by black people in a overseas territory not beholden to the Constitution. The George Floyd homunculus thing is like a old meme. Hold up. Oh, it's a fucking it's a YouTube video. I think it got deleted. I'm pretty sure. Here. Oh, I have to click to see it. Not safe for work. I nutted on my George Floyd toy and accidentally created a George Floyd homunculus. As an average teenager, each night I do the same routine. Eat, dinner, study, chill, and then finally bust a nut before I go to sleep. I tend to have an easier time sleeping after orgasms. I'm 17 years old and have been masturbating daily since I was 12. As you might expect, I need more than porn to bust a good nut. I've been using various sex toys such as fleshlights, and it's not just limited to that. I have also secretly bought life-size Japanese sex dolls. From all these years of mastering the art of watching porn without being caught by my parents, I was capable of ordering very large toys without my parents knowing. I'd have shipped it to my friend's house while his parents were at work. Then I would pick it up from his house and use it inside my closet. Tonight in particular, I grew tired of the Japanese sex doll. I wanted something that can create an ultra-realistic sexual experience that can cause me to bust the most satisfying high-volume nut in history. I browsed TikTok sellers for some ideas. After several hours of searching, I came across a particularly interesting item. The George Floyd toy. Just by looking at it, I got a massive boner. I even came in my pants without touching it. At that moment, I knew this would be the perfect sex toy. I copped the doll and then excitedly waited for 20 days for it to deliver. Fast forward to the day it came in the mail. My mom came into the room with the package. "Honey, you have a parcel. What did you purchase?" she asked. I knew exactly how to explain it. "That is my new George Floyd plush. I bought it to honor his death and to support the cause." She bought into it and handed me the toy. Holy shit, I immediately got the urge to rub its face all over my dick. I googled the original George Floyd video and then pulled down my pants and started rubbing it out on the George Floyd toy's face. After 10 seconds, I busted the biggest nut yet. It shot out white liquid at a distance of 2 meters. George Floyd toy's face was painted all white. Man, that was the best feeling ever. I went into the washroom to clean the toy. I valued it so much, I stored it in my closet and went to bed. When I woke up, I couldn't wait to bust a bonus nut before I go to school. But when I opened my closet, my George Floyd toy didn't look like itself at all. Its outer fabric appeared to have a large hole. I chalked it as my semen being acidic and went in with my day. Once I returned to school, I saw my mom. She was dead. I couldn't believe my eyes, so I went over to investigate. There I saw a bullet hole through her pregnant belly. I cried a lot because I lost my mom and my future brother. I needed to get my revenge on whomever murdered them. I searched around the house for the robber. I couldn't find any weapon to use to defend myself against the gunman, so I decided to use a book that I could use for blocking bullets. I went upstairs. At first, I did not see anything in the second-story hallway, but I heard a small voice, and I looked down. There I saw it, a very miniature person. When I looked closely, I saw it as a miniature George Floyd, except some features were altered. The George Floyd mini-me had tentacles for arms and only one eye. I freaked out so much from that organism that I used my book to crush it. "Lift up the book, please. I can't breathe," it said. I just kept the book on it until I stopped hearing it breathe. I did some research on how this George Floyd homunculus existed. There were a ton of rumors spreading through the internet that George Floyd toy contained an egg which was extracted from George Floyd's corpse. Always be careful with what you decide to bust a nut in. You never know what life forms you can create. I hope I hope that's been satisfying to Annan, who's been spamming my fucking chat, asking me about Southwest Airlines. I can't breathe. Alright, chat. You fuckers. I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Last chance. Read the comments. It's just different variations of the copy pasta. One guy says nice. Please remove the book. I guess it is Halloween, right? It's October. It's the month of creepypastas, right? Maybe I can usurp that corpse husband guy with my George Floyd homunculus creepypasta. Shadman. What happened to Shadman? Is he fucking dead? I'll do a whole stream on Shadman if he's dead. Well, I'll quickly throw together a stream and do it tonight. No. Say hi to everyone, Felix. Yeah. I'll try to get a proper person stream together for Halloween, as is tradition. He might be ODing, no one knows. Okay, I'll do a bonus stream if Shadman fucking dies. Oh, dude, people. I assume everything he does is for attention. So if he's like pretending to be schizo and shit, like, that's probably just him trying to get attention because he's a tard. Like after he got in trouble for drawing pornography of underage girls, he just started doing like super edgy pornography of like characters that were crippled and have tragic stories and stuff, because that's the only way he could get like attention anymore. And if his money is running out because he has problems and legal issues and stuff, and he might be trying to get attention again. He takes black tar heroin. Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. I'll check up on it. I've wanted him. I wanted bad things to happen to him for a while. Okay, I'm done. I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Выходила, песню заводила про степного сизого орла. Про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла. Дай привет. Пусть он вспомнит девушку простую, пусть услышит, как она поет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша сбережет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша сбережет. Расцветали яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой.
Выходи.